There are loads of people telling you that in order to fix your back pain, you need to go get your back cracked by a chiropractor or keep getting a massage every 3 weeks. In this video, I'm going to explain why this is complete rubbish and what you can do instead. Why bother listening to me? Well, I'm a physio and I've actually helped a decent amount of people fix their injury and get back to the sport or activity they love doing. I'm not going to give you a quick fix or a magical exercise, but I am going to give you a system that you can use to significantly reduce your back pain. So the first thing we need to think about is your beliefs, and more specifically, your limiting beliefs when it comes to back pain. These influence what you do throughout your day and can potentially be causing you a lot more harm than good. A lot of you who've got back pain, when it gets really bad, you might have been to go get an MRI scan at the doctor's, and they pull up the scan and they tell you that you've got loads of damage at your back, and this is the reason for your pain. This is incorrect, and the reason for this is if you take two people, person A and person B, person A goes in to get an MRI scan of their back, and they've got no lower back pain going in before they get the scan. They go in and the doctor says, oh, you've got loads of damage at your back, you've got a bulging disc here, here, and here. Person B goes in. Before person B goes in, they've actually got loads of lower back pain. They go in to get a scan and they've got no pain whatsoever. This is demonstrated quite clearly by the research because pain is far more complex than just more damage equals more pain. So just take that MRI scan with a pinch of salt if you have got one or you've heard people talking about them. The second thing I want to discuss is posture. So a lot of people talk about good and bad posture. And people say good posture is sitting bolt upright with your shoulders back, and bad posture is slouched forward like a hunchback, like an old person maybe. No posture is good or bad. The most important thing is movement. So changing your posture and position frequently. So if you work at a desk all day, like I do, like a lot of people do, then change between a sitting and standing position every 30 to 60 minutes is the best way to solve it. The easiest way to do this is just simply buy a standing desk. Other than that, throughout the day, don't be hyper obsessed about being in one particular position because there is no such thing as good or bad. If you're in any position for a long period of time, this is not good. So if you're sat bolt upright all day, this is not good. If you're slouched all day, this is not good. It's not the inherent posture, it's because you're not changing posture and positions. The next thing I want to talk about is hands-on treatment, which is just your massage, your chiropractors, things like that. So when you go to get a massage or you get your back cracked, you get some short-term pain relief if you've done these things, and you feel good for maybe like a few hours or a few days. But the problem is, a chiropractor who does this, or someone who gives massages like this, will say you have to come back to keep having this done every 3 to 4 weeks. And what ends up happening is you go around in this cycle. So that's your pain up there. You get your treatment, you get relief. That's just R. And then what happens is this kind of happens. You get relief. You go back to the sport, potentially, or the activity, you get pain again, and then you just keep going around in this treatment cycle. They're loving it because they're getting recurring revenue every, well, in a lot of cases for years and years and years for the rest of people's lives. So it's pretty good financially for them, and you just keep going around this cycle. So the reason this isn't fixing you long term and helping your back pain, helping you get back to things without the pain recurring, is because it's not fixing the things that matter, which is your mobility, Christ, awful your mobility, your strength, your conditioning, your confidence, a lot of other things. And as you continue to rest and go get a massage or get your back cracked, these things are actually getting worse and you're getting weaker, you're getting less mobile, you're getting less confident, and you're getting less conditioned. And so it's actually detraining you. And putting you in a worse position to get back to what you want to do, because you actually need to improve these things to fix your back pain. This leads us on to the next point, which is this idea of quick fixes. So if you've been dealing with back pain for a long period of time let's say 6 months or years and years and years, then don't expect to be fixed in one session. It's going to take a long period of time. As I mentioned, because you haven't been doing a lot to fix your back pain, potentially, if you've just been resting it and getting a massage, getting your back cracked, then all of those qualities that I spoke about that we need to improve, they're getting worse. And so it might take you 3-4 weeks to see improvements in mobility, strength, confidence, and maybe longer than that to see significant decreases in pain. The next thing to chat about, which I glossed over a little bit, is pain. And it's very logical with back pain to instantly assume that the movement that aggravated your back pain was the cause of it. So bending over to pick something up off the floor, maybe doing a heavy deadlift or a heavy squat. But in reality, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Or it was that last little bit of string that was very, very weak. And the reason for this is because we're not looking at all the things that happened before that. How well are you sleeping? Are you drinking more than usual? Are you getting 5 to 10K steps in a day? What are your relationships like? Have you had any previous injuries? What are your beliefs around posture that we touched upon, for example? There's like a million different things that influence pain. So when you do that particular activity that aggravates your back pain, think, is this really the cause of my pain? Or is this just the trigger and everything else is actually affecting it? So what daily exercises can you do to help your back pain? The first one you're going to do is lying on your back. Your knees are bent, your feet are flat on the floor, and you're going to imagine your pelvis is like a bottle of water. And you're going to gently roll that bottle of water forward so your lower back is arched and you have a little gap between your lower back and the floor. Then you're very gently going to roll your pelvis back so your lower back is flat into the floor. You're going to practice doing this. Once you've got the hang of that movement, then we're going to pair some breathing with it. So as you roll your pelvis forward and your lower back is arched, you're going to gently inhale through your nose. And then as you roll back and your lower back is flat into the floor, you're going to exhale smoothly through your mouth. I want you to do 2 sets of 5 to 8 breaths. If you're getting pain at any of those end ranges, so when you fully roll forward or when you tuck, then just reduce the amount of movement a little bit. Work into that smaller amount of movement and then over time increase the amount of movement. The second exercise is scissor slides. So you're going to set up like this, 90-degree knee bend, lying away from the wall. Feet are going to go flat on the wall. You're going to pop one hand on that top leg and you're going to shift that hip all the way over. So that top knee is going to go over that bottom knee and then back. Your feet don't move. All that movement is coming from your hip. I want you to do 2 sets of 20 reps on each side. The next exercise is a glute bridge with some reaches. So lie on your back again, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. You're going to squeeze your glutes as high as you can and as you're comfortable with your back. And then you're very gently going to do some alternating reaches to 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. If you imagine you're on a clock face. I want you to do 2 sets of 15 reaches. So this daily sequence will literally take you 5 minutes and it's just a really good addition to the other exercises I'm going to be getting into in a minute to help improve your lower and upper body strength. But these ones are mainly to improve your mobility and reduce your pain. So the next thing we want to look at is improving or starting to improve your strength. The simplest way to start doing this is going to the gym 3 times a week. That's minimum effective dose for most people. So what I would do is a lower body strength day, an upper body strength day, and then a full body strength day. So if we start with the lower body strength day, to find exercises that we can work around your back, a short split squat is a great option to work your quads. You're going to set up in this staggered stance and you're very simply going to bend your knee on that front leg, let your back knee come down as low as you're comfortable, and then to stand back up into that top position, you're just going to push hard through the middle of your foot. You can overload this with dumbbells in your hands. You could do 3 sets of 8 reps each side, And to warm up, you could do the daily mobility exercises that I spoke about, or you could simply just do that movement with no weight and just bang through a few reps. Then you could go into a double leg hinge, which is starting to work on this hinging movement and starting to load your glutes properly without rounding through your back. And so this is going to help you if you've been having issues with things like deadlifts or Romanian deadlifts and you'll be getting back pain from those. So you're going to set up on 2 legs, slight knee bend. You're going to send your hips back as you keep your weight forward. You're going to hold in that bottom position for a few seconds and then squeeze your glutes to come back up. And you can do 3 sets of 8 reps here. Then we're going to move on to another glute exercise. So a glute bridge is a great option for this, or a hip thrust, whatever you want to call it. And you set up in this position. To make this more difficult, just add some weight into your hips. You've got a slight chin tuck, so you've got a neutral spine, feet are under your knees, and you're simply squeezing your glutes from that bottom position up to the top. You can do 3 sets of 8 reps here at a challenging weight. The next muscle group I like to target is the calves. So a single leg calf raise works really well here. 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. And I only want you to go from a stretch to a neutral position. So a stretch position is the bottom of calf raise, and then a neutral position is once you get back up to neutral. So it's not any higher. You can load this as heavy as possible. The easiest way to do this is either with a dip belt or ideally a barbell on your back. Then the final exercise I would do is a little superset, cable adduction and cable abduction. So set up like this. Abduction is moving your leg away from your midline, and then adduction is moving your leg towards your midline. I want you to do 2 sets of 15 reps on each exercise on each side. With all these exercises, just rest as long as you need to fully recover. So for most people, that's going to be between 60 seconds up to 2 minutes between sets. Then our upper body strength session is going to start with a pressing movement, so a landmine press. Again, to warm up, you can either do that quick mobility sequence, the daily one, or you can just do the landmine press with lighter weight. So you're going to set up in this half kneeling position, and you're very simply going to press that barbell overhead. To make this more challenging, just add some weight onto the barbell. Do 3 sets of 8 reps on each side. Then we're going to go into a pulling movement for our back muscles. An incline row works really well here because it's going to prevent a lot of irritation at the back early on. Set up like this with a little bit of an incline, use some dumbbells, go as heavy as you can for 3 sets of 8 reps. Make sure you're fully relaxing in that bottom position so you get a nice stretch on your lats, and then you're squeezing your shoulder blades together in that top position. The next exercise would be some sort of accessory for your triceps. So a tricep cable push down can work really well here. Make sure you keep your elbows tucked, and all you're doing is straightening your arms into that bottom position. Slow and controlled, 3 sets of 10 reps. Then some more accessories, maybe one for your shoulders. So something like a face pull, 2 sets of 10 reps. Again, relaxing in that bottom position. So you're rounding forward a bit, lats, upper back is stretching, and then making sure you bring your shoulder blades together in that top position. Then finishing off with something like some bicep curls, 2 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Seated ones are really easy to do and probably be more comfortable on your back with some dumbbells. Again, just rest here as long as you need to between sets, ideally 60 to 120 seconds between to make sure you're fully recovered. Finally, we've got the full body strength session. So starting off with some leg exercises, the single leg quad extension to target the quads. Sit on the machine, really simple to use, just straightening your leg into that top position. 3 sets of 5 reps on each side. So you're going to go nice and heavy with this. So just make sure as you're building up to that working weight, you're just doing nice, small, gradual jumps. So your quads are nice and warm. From there, then you could go into another glute exercise. So you could either do another hip thrust variation, or you could do something like a reverse lunge. 3 sets of 8 reps, nice and heavy. And then moving on, again, something for the calves. So ideally a bent knee calf raise. So you have a slight knee bend at about 80 to 90 degrees on the single leg. And then we're going through the full range of motion here from that bottom portion all the way up to the top. Nice and heavy, 3 sets of 5 reps on each leg. So we've done 3 lower body exercises. And then to finish off, I would do a pushing exercise for your upper body and a pulling exercise. So the pushing exercise could be something like an incline Dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps again. And then the pulling exercise could be a vertical pulling movement, so up and down. Something like a lat pull down works really nicely. Again, heavy as you can, 3 sets of anywhere from 8 to 10 reps. 3 sessions in the week. These 3 sessions are roughly going to take you between 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how long you rest between and how much of a warm-up you do. But this is one of the most effective ways to fix your back pain. By the way, if you enjoyed that video and you want 33 days of game-changing injury advice that's really going to help you out, just check out the top link down below.